Okay, so you're gonna start off with a bigger circle, and then you're gonna wanna make a layer of a slightly smaller circle. All right, and then you're gonna wanna break this circle up into fourths. So I'm just gonna roughly go about halfway through. And then once you have this like bullseye looking shape here, you're gonna break each section, like each of these 4 areas, into 3 different sections. So you can either just use your hand and like roughly break it apart. So like I could just break this into thirds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with just the primary colors in this color wheel. So I'm gonna try to place this so you can see me mixing and painting. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do, my first color that I'm gonna do is gonna be red. So I'll just get my brush wet and then I'm just gonna pick up some of the red. And I'm not looking for like perfect color wheels. What I'm looking for is accurate color placement. So where you start off, like whatever color you're going to start off with first. So pick one of the primary colors. It can be red, yellow, or blue. And then you're going to place that color in the color wheel. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose this section for my red. And I'm going into that middle layer and I'm just going to put down just plain red. So yesterday at the end of the slideshow, we talked about tints and shades and also tones, but we're not going to be using gray. So we're just going to be doing tints and shades. So this inner layer of the color wheel, that's where I'm going to be putting all of my tints. And then all of my shades is going to be this outer layer here. So a tint is when you add white to your color. So in watercolor, we don't actually use like a white paint, but we do use water to lighten a color. So what I can do now is take this red that I have here and just add a little bit more water to it to lighten it up. And then just go in and paint this section so it's like a lighter pink. And if you have too much water or if you have too much pigment on your paper, you can always go back, like brush off your paintbrush and then just go back over it. So then for the shade section, that would be red plus black or red plus the opposite color. So I don't actually have black, so I'm just going to be adding green to my red to darken the red because green is red's complementary color. So I will go in and take a little bit of green and just mix it with my red to make it a darker red. So now I'm going to move on to the next primary color. So I can either choose blue or yellow, and it doesn't matter which spot I put the blue or yellow in next. So like what matters is where the next color goes, but it doesn't matter if it's the blue or yellow. So if I'm looking at my color wheel here, for example, this next pure color is going to be, where is it? So this is orange right here. So I'm going to have 3 spaces in between all my primary colors. So this color here will eventually, so I'm going to use yellow next. So this color here would be a red orange, and then I'm going to have orange, and then I'm going to have a yellow orange, and then I'm going to have yellow here. So I'm just going to like go in and put in my pure color first. So pretty much you want to count like 1, 2, 3, and then add in your next color. Ultimately, your color wheel should look like a rainbow going around it. And if it doesn't, that means you messed up somewhere. So again, I've put in my pure color, and now I'm going to go in and put the tint of yellow, which is just a lightened. I'm taking some water and adding it in with my yellow. So what doing the color wheel like this is going to teach you is, one, you're going to ingrain like how to mix colors. I want you guys to only be working with the primary colors to make all your colors. I know you have colors like purple and green and orange already in your color palette, but I want you to practice mixing those colors, because the more you practice mixing them, the better you are going to, one, become at mixing colors, and then it's going to help ingrain like how to make those colors. So for my yellow now, to do my shade, I either need to add black or the opposite color on the color wheel, which would be purple. And I don't have purple, so I just need to make a purple really quick. Okay, so for my third and final primary color, I'm going to be adding in my blue. So I'm going to count 3 spaces over and add in blue. So all the primary colors should be evenly spaced on your color wheel. With 3 pieces in between each color. Okay, so I went in and I added some water to my blue to make the tint of blue. So the lighter version. Why is this so out of focus? Okay, and then to do my shade of blue, and you guys can use black. I just don't have black, so I'm just using the opposite color every single time. So to go in and add in the shade of my blue, I'm going to make an orange, because I know that orange is the opposite color on the color wheel. And I actually have an orange, so I'm just going to go in and make it a little bit darker. Okay, so a tint is when you add white, I'm going to put in parentheses, or water to a color. And then a shade is when you add black or the complementary color to a color to darken it. So the next layer that we're going to be doing is secondary colors. The secondary colors are colors that are made by mixing two primary colors. So if I mix red and yellow, what color am I going to get? Orange. If I mix red and blue, what color am I going to get? Green is a secondary color, but it's not made by mixing red and blue. So if I mix blue and yellow, I'm going to get green. And then if I mix my red and my blue, I'm going to get purple. So when you look at a color wheel, that kind of like helps you to figure out where you're going to place your colors. So if I know that by mixing red and yellow, I'm going to get orange, then where do you think I'm going to place my orange? In between the yellow and red. So it's going to be in the middle of the red and the orange, or sorry, the red and the yellow. So I'm going to place it in this middle piece, which is why we have the 3 pieces. So it's going to be the middle one. And that'll be the same for all of our secondary colors. So I can assume that between my yellow and my blue, I'm going to have my green in the middle. And then between my red and my blue, I'm going to have my purple.